Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So let me talk to you a little bit about Meredith. Meredith isn't the same media and publishing company that it was even 4 years ago when I started there. We've undergone significant transformation, significant growth in our digital audience, and we represent some of the world's leading lifestyle and women's brands. Most recently, bringing under our wing Martha Stewart, Shape, and My Wedding. So significant growth over the last year. And we've been growing, but we've also quietly been building and partnering and acquiring companies that really help build out our ad and our tech stack. So for example, we purchased ShopNation, which is an e-commerce platform. We also purchased Selectable Media, which is a native and video engagement platform. MyWedding.com, which is a wedding site targeted at millennials, but at its core, it's a local offer platform. We also purchased Grocery Server, which is a local offer shopper marketing platform. And we've been partnering with Krux for over 3 years. It's been a really long time that we have been working with Krux. So we've seen significant growth. We've been building out our capabilities. That's really positioned Meredith as one of the leading publishers. But from a data perspective, from my perspective, this new growth and these acquisitions are really enhancing our data capabilities as well. So that's Meredith. Let's take a step back and look at the data evolution that we are all going through, and particularly from a publishing perspective. So back in the day, publishers would look to their big CRM databases to understand their consumers and target their consumers against direct mail and list rental. Then digital exploded. And we started looking to ad networks and search for data and targeting capabilities. And then with the advent and evolution of platforms that allowed publishers to access and scale and manage all of our data, we really made a big push into email marketing and targeting using our DMP. And I think you'll all agree, and what you've even heard from Krux today, is we're seeing a lot of growth in the opportunity for data exchanges and data partnerships. So there's a lot of exciting things happening in the marketplace right now. From a Meredith perspective, I want to emphasize the fact that Meredith has always seen data as a strategic asset. They really grew up as a digital marketer. We've invested heavily not only in our digital teams, but in our data infrastructure, which we still manage in-house. And then from an organization perspective, 2 years ago, we actually decided to bring together all of the different consumer data and analytics teams from across the organization together. And they traditionally sat within their individual business functions. We wanted to do this to make sure that we really were bringing our data together and leveraging the knowledge and the skill sets of our teams so that we could go to market in a more integrated and cohesive fashion. So data has always been important to us, and we're going to continue to invest in this space. So what data do we have? So our target consumer is the American woman. She is very busy. She engages in content and commerce throughout all aspects of her life. And the good news for us is she comes to our brands to be informed and inspired. She comes to us across a variety of different brands and platforms. And the key point here is every time she engages with us, we are collecting data about her. So what makes Meredith data so powerful? It's a combination of interest and intent data at scale. And today I want to focus on, and you're going to hear me emphasize the intent data, because I think that's really important for all publishers and marketers. From an interest perspective, like other publishers, we understand what our consumers are interested in. Every time she visits us or signs up for an email or registers or subscribes, we're learning more about who she is and what she's interested in. We sent over 6 billion emails last year. We got over 8 million new users to register with us online. We had over 20 million consumers say and purchase and subscribe to our services. So interest data at scale. But we not only have interest data, we have intent data. Every time she searches or watches or buys something from us, we're learning more about her intent. So from a sharing perspective, it's not just leveraging the data about what she's doing on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, very powerful. We're also building unique, engaging, sharing experiences across our properties. So we have an I made it button, an I did it button. We're incenting our consumers to build profiles about who she is. From a list perspective, we know who is adding things to their shopping list and what they're actually adding to their shopping list. What recipes are they printing and saving, and what collections are they building? From a from a buy perspective, we've built over 7 premium shopping experiences across all of the categories that we cover. And we have local offers, which tells our consumers the ingredients in the recipe that you're looking at will tell you what's on sale at your local grocery store. And what's not on here is the in-store data. So we're doing beacon trials, and we're actually, really aggressively looking to build and collect location data from our consumers as well. So it's interest data plus intent data, and we also have it at scale. And scale alone isn't important. You have to have high quality data at scale. We have premium, engaged, loyal audiences that engage with us. We have over 80 million consumers who come to us digitally each month. We have a database of 100 million users. We are integrating those data sets, and we have the benefit of being able to do that organically because we have registered users. And then we're working with partners to supplement that. And we're also focused on cross-device identity, so matching mobile to desktop users as well. And again, we can do that organically, and also working with companies like Krux to help us provide a more seamless look at our users. So again, the power is really in the combination of interest plus intent data at scale. So we leverage all of that data, we derive insights against that data, and then we leverage it across our entire business. Advertising, product and consumer marketing, commerce, and there's so many things I think that we could do in the future to continue to leverage all of that data and insights, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about each of these different areas. So, we have a lot of data. We have a lot of engaged users. We see thousands of signals and data points from our users every day based on what she's interested or intending to do. Some of the data that we collect is at scale, but some of the data is very targeted and very niche. And that's based on the deep taxonomies that we have against our core sites. And I will tell you, that was one of the challenges that we have. We have multiple different brands that we were bringing together with different types and levels of taxonomy. So that's something that we have really been working on the last couple of years and will continue to work on. The taxonomies need to be there and robust for you to accurately collect the data. So we have thousands of segments that we have built against her interests and her intent. The beauty for us, though, is we can also target against life stages and life events. So because she comes to us when she's in her 20s, and then when she's getting married, and when she's having kids, not to be stereotypical, but the point is that we can target her against specific events and life stages, across all of her life stages, quite frankly. So we have a lot of rich data, and in particular, our proposition in food, the data that we have, the interest and the intent data that we have in food is very unique and very compelling. So from an interest perspective, we can tell you what she's looking at, what recipes, what content, what ingredients, by time of day of week, by month, by device, by geography. Really, really rich, deep data. From an intent perspective, we know that 50% of all recipes users visit the grocery store within 24 hours of coming to our site. So in this example, we know that this is a mom with young kids who is looking at a sloppy Joe recipe. And she has told us that she wants us to tell her of the ingredients in the sloppy Joe recipe, what's on sale at her local grocery store. And she's either identified that grocery store as where she shopped, or we've identified it based on her location. And we also know that she's commented on this recipe and that she's watched the video. There's a pretty good chance that she's in market and going to be in the store soon. One of the things I just want to point out on this is, we work with a lot of our clients leveraging PBT, or purchase-based data, purchase-based targeting. Very compelling, very strong data. But what you need to know is, when is that consumer who has purchased your product before going to be in market again to purchase your product? And this type of data and insights married with purchase-based data is really, really powerful. And this is a food use case, but I don't think you should think about it just for food. So I said earlier that this is a mom who has young kids, let's say, who is interested in beauty products. And this means that she's going to be in the store in the next 24 hours. If you sell your products where groceries are also sold, you're going to want to target this user as well. So it goes beyond food. I'm hitting the wrong button. Okay, so we have a lot of rich data, but we also have really impactful insights. This is one of my core focus areas, is really to continue to build out and scale this capability, because we've been working with clients and leveraging our data to derive insights that impact clients' product and content strategies, their media planning, and their messaging. And we can do this particularly well in food, but we can do it across category as well. So let me give you some examples. Identifying trends. So we've been able to foresee and predict some significant trends in the food space. Not only do we have All Recipes, but we have Every Day with Rachel Ray, and Eating Well, and Martha Stewart, and all of the brands that have food content within their sites and their experiences. We actually foresaw the paleo trend before it spiked, because we saw our users starting to over-index in their use of cauliflower. We've worked with one of the largest manufacturers of, largest chocolate makers, I should say, and we identified the decline in the trend towards mini desserts that was really popular for a while. We told them that the trend is on the decline, and we proposed some new ideas for them, and we worked with them on a new campaign and executed that campaign. They shifted their product and content strategy, and we actually saw double the performance in the new campaign with the new ideas versus the focus on mini desserts previously. We've also worked with one of the largest pasta manufacturers in the world, and we provided them with insights on what's happening with pasta, what are the trends in pasta, and how do you create an optimal pasta recipe? What ingredients do you pair together? They're currently using that material in their marketing materials right now, and what we provided to them is actually helping in their recipe content creation. So a lot of direct impact to product and content strategy. We're also working with clients. A lot of clients ask us this, what are the new categories? What are the white spaces? How can we go above and beyond who we've traditionally targeted or how we've traditionally seen our products being used? One of the examples is, we worked with a salad dressing maker, and we said, don't just focus on salads and dinners, but focus on snacks and appetizers. And we work with them to create new, innovative, content that really put out there how to leverage salad dressing and appetizers and snacks. And again, we saw, I think, a 5x lift in the engagement of this new sort of interesting campaign that we worked with them on. And then we also have real-time insights that really can help drive media planning. So we can tell you what are the top items and recipes that are being searched by category, by ingredient, again, by time of day, day of week, by device, by geography. So some fun facts around that. We know that in the Northeast, when there's a snowstorm, chili spikes, particularly on mobile phones, because people are in store buying the ingredients. My team last night also sent me some information about, what are the top beverages in Las Vegas based on consumption across our sites. And I thought it was interesting. This isn't obviously those of us who are visiting Vegas, but the people who live here. But the number 2 most popular beverage in Las Vegas, mojitos, makes sense. The first one, healthy green juice. may or may not think that that makes sense here. And it actually over-indexes in Las Vegas relative to Southern California, where you would think healthy green juice would be particularly popular. So I thought that that was interesting. We also like to derive insights across categories, right? And insights that aren't necessarily intuitive. We created a segment and a target against milk lovers, and we realized that there was a big overlap between milk lovers and tech enthusiasts. You know, we identified that our beauty lovers actually really like pasta. And from a programmatic perspective, when we're setting up a PNP with some of our clients, what we'll often do is go look at the inventory that the client has been bidding against in the open marketplace and look at the users and audiences that they are trying to reach on our sites. And that's informative. More often than not, they're actually bidding pretty high against those users, especially for our endemic segments, but they're not necessarily winning. So it's a real opportunity to identify the audiences and the target users so that when we set up the PMP, we're actually using the right data and audiences. So again, insights, really powerful, really important, a core focus for us. So we've got the data and the insights. Now we need to activate against the data and the insights. But you need to activate using the right platforms and the right tactics. And we can do that throughout the entire consumer journey and the purchase funnel. If you're at the top of the funnel and you want to drive product and brand awareness, you need to maximize scale and reach. If you want to reach mid-funnel and drive engagement and intent, you need to know when to reach her, the right moments, the right cycles, against a more targeted audience. And then obviously at the bottom of the funnel, you want to reach users who are in market. Within 24 hours of them going to the store or when they're in store, that's when you want to reach them. So my point here is that it's not just about the data and the insights, it's about how you activate against them. So, we are at the Krux conference, and audience targeting is obviously one of the ways that we can directly leverage and activate against our data and insights. So I wanted to share some of the learnings that we've had here. So the first is click-through rate is not always indicative of conversion. This is something that the Krux team, from the moment we signed the contract 3 years ago, have continually talked to us about, educated us on, and we've seen that come to fruition in how we have gone to market. So in a lot of cases, clients, and even quite frankly our own ad ops and campaign managers, want to optimize out-of-audience targeted campaigns because they believe or see the click-through rate not as high as they want or as expected. When conversion is truly the metric that you're measuring against, a lot of times, or most of the time actually, when we were able and allowed to measure against conversion, we really felt we were able to prove that despite a lower click-through rate, conversion was actually good. So in this case, it was for a food product, and we were able to prove that the audience targeted portion of the campaign drove 60% of the clicks, but 85% of the conversions. And in this case, it was to drive consumer registrations. The second learning is, we've been working with our clients, a lot of which want to use and leverage PBT data. Again, agree, very powerful. But in the tests that we've been running with our clients, what we see is that a blended PBT target and segment is often more powerful and impactful than a PBT segment alone. Again, so that's taking a purchase-based targeted segment, marrying that with our first-party data, and that's more impactful because I do think we are able then to lend the context, the interest, and the intent around the purchase-based data. And finally, proprietary data has typically outperformed third-party data alone. We use third-party data, both in our CRM and in digital. But combining our first-party data with our third-party data, that typically outperforms in the marketplace. And I have some examples and case studies here. So audience targeting is one of the ways we activate against data. Email was one of the other examples that I had in the funnel chart. So in this instance, we leveraged our data, both our CRM data and our DMP data, to execute an email campaign for Old Navy to drive users in-store and purchase. And in this case, we identified 5 million users, executed a multi-touch campaign, and you can see we saw a 49% lift in total buyers and a 58% lift in new buyers. So I've talked about some of the ways that we are leveraging our data, our DMP and our CRM data, for advertising. But I also want to talk a little bit about how we're leveraging our data for product and consumer marketing. I actually got this question 2 years ago. I was here 2 years ago and spoke then. And at the time, we were primarily using the Krux data for advertising. But that has changed. And I think with the growth and the advent, all of the new products that Krux is coming up with, we're going to continue to expand our usage of Krux data, our DMP data, beyond where we are today. But we have made some strides since 2 years ago when I was here. Traditional consumer revenue. This is driving print subscriptions. So we've been supplementing our CRM profiles, the CRM profiles that we have in our database, with Krux data. Our data scientists who are doing those predictive models to drive subscriptions, this is really helping them to drive an increased response rate, and particularly to drive consumers online to purchase. So this has been powerful. And I think, Meredith, like other publishers, we're looking to diversify our consumer revenue. And so I think this is going to become increasingly important for us in the next few years. Email. We use Krux data to help inform the content strategy for our emails. We're using Krux segments to target the ads within our emails. And then as we're now moving to more one-to-one email marketing and email targeting, we need to make sure that we're leveraging the Krux segments to do that as well. And then on-site consumer targeting. So we are leveraging the Krux segments to target offers online in real time, to better target the right offers to the right person in real time on our sites. What I don't have on here actually is product. So we are very focused on leveraging our data and insights to drive personalized experiences across our sites. And we need to make sure that the Krux data is a big piece of that as we continue to evolve. So here's another example of how we're using our data for consumer marketing initiatives. So Meredith is the second largest licensor of branded products. We have over 4,500 branded Meredith SKUs, 3,000 Better Homes and Gardens branded products that are being sold in Walmart. So the objective of this was really to identify target users. We leveraged our CRM data and our DMP data, identified the right targets, and drove them to Walmart.com to buy BHG branded products. And I can't share the exact results from that publicly, but needless to say, we drove higher sales than other branded products that were being sold. Okay, we've talked about advertising, product and consumer marketing. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about commerce. We've actually built a fairly meaningful and robust commerce capability in a relatively short amount of time. We have 7 premium shopping experiences integrated across our core brands. So Parents, Better Homes and Gardens, Shape, Fitness, etc. And what we've seen is a real growth in how our users are engaging with this type of content. And our partners are obviously benefiting from that too, since their revenue has doubled in the last year alone. These are examples of how we are integrating commerce and making our content and our experiences shoppable. And so for this is a big value add for our consumers. From a data perspective, this spins off a ton of data and a ton of intent data. And we are getting our arms wrapped around all of this data. So looking to the future. So from a product perspective, there are a couple of areas that I am focused on now and in the immediate term. I talked about it earlier. First is insights. So building out insights, and I'm excited about some of the new products that Krux is talking about. The other thing is that we're going to continue to build engaging, personalized experiences that drive and inform intent. So those are two core areas that we are focused on. In terms of the opportunities in the future of how we can further leverage data and insights, I think that there are a ton, quite frankly. This is an example care of Chip Skank, who many of you know in this room. But as an industry, for publishers and marketers, quite frankly, we're used to leveraging our data and our insights to serve up ads on our properties. Could we not create a content exchange? So I know that a consumer is coming to my site and she is in market and really interested in hair care products and shampoo in particular. I can go out and in real time access that content and deliver it to her so she has a very, very personalized experience. That benefits both publishers and marketers. So this is just an idea that we've been talking about. Real-time category and industry trends. So this is basically taking our insights and indexing capabilities and doubling down on it and going even deeper than where we have today. So in this example of chocolate, again, we have over 60 million users each month that come to us for food-related content. We have 26,000 recipes that have chocolate in them. Today, we're looking at the consumption patterns of those recipes and how our consumers are engaging with that content, and we're helping our clients and our partners understand and inform their product and content strategies. But we could take that even further and go deeper and really inform the upfront supply chain. Marketers and researchers in Wall Street, they're really interested in this type of information. And it's all because we understand consumers and how they're engaging in that with chocolate against the largest food platform, the largest digital food platform. So this is really compelling as well. Okay, so this is my last slide. Two key takeaways. One, we have powerful data and insights, but it's not just about the data and insights. It's about the entire ecosystem. It's pairing the data and insights with the targeting capabilities, with the unique platform and tactics that we can bring to market, with our content creation capabilities. So it's bringing that all together to the marketers and the agencies to optimize against their objectives. The second thing is, we are really excited about the opportunities in the data space, the data evolution that is going on right now. And I think that working with a company like Krux and leveraging their platform, both their existing capabilities and the new capabilities that they have, I think it's really going to help all of us, marketers, publishers, agencies, work more closely together to really leverage our data and insights going forward.